The echoes of conflict between Israel and Iran linger, even as the skies over the region clear and armies step back from the brink. The war, for now, is paused. But the threats and warnings exchanged between Jerusalem and Tehran suggest the struggle is far from over. Shadows lengthen across the Middle East, cast by unresolved questions and unyielding ambitions. Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, has made it plain. The recent series of airstrikes against Iran were not an end, but a beginning. In a hard-hitting interview, he laid out Israel's ambitions with unmistakable clarity. The objective, he said, was not just to punish, but to cripple Iran's nuclear program once and for all. According to Katz, the days of quiet diplomacy are over. Israel is now prepared to act, and to act decisively. At the heart of Katz's ultimatum is a demand that reverberates far beyond Israel's borders. Iran, he insists, must surrender all of its highly enriched uranium. This is not a symbolic gesture. Highly enriched uranium is the critical ingredient for building a nuclear bomb. A few hundred kilograms can be transformed, with the right technology, into a weapon capable of changing the balance of power in the region. Katz's message was clear. Israel will not allow Tehran to keep such a capability in reserve. What makes this warning even more significant is that it is not Israel's alone. Katz emphasized that this demand comes jointly from both Washington and Tel Aviv. The United States and Israel are presenting a united front. The implication is unmistakable. The world's most powerful superpower and its closest Middle Eastern ally are setting the terms together. Tehran, therefore, cannot hope to play one against the other. The choice is stark: give up the uranium or brace for what comes next. But beneath this ultimatum lies a complex and troubling reality. Katz claims that Israel's strikes destroyed critical elements of Iran's nuclear infrastructure. In his account, the facilities that could convert enriched uranium into a bomb-ready form have been rendered inoperable. The transfer systems, those intricate networks of pipes, valves, and machinery essential to moving radioactive material, have been neutralized. On paper, it sounds like a decisive blow. Yet, in the fog of war and intelligence, certainty is hard to come by. Even Katz admits that Israel does not know precisely where all of Iran's enriched uranium is hidden. This admission opens the door to deep uncertainty and fear. If Israel, with its formidable intelligence services, cannot account for all of Iran's nuclear material, what might Tehran still be capable of? Recent investigations by European intelligence agencies, reported by the Financial Times, have only heightened these anxieties. According to their assessments, much of Iran's uranium stockpile remains intact. Some analysts believe that, in the tense days before the airstrikes, Iran's leadership anticipated an attack and acted swiftly. Satellite imagery from the hours leading up to the bombing of the Fordow nuclear facility showed trucks moving in and out, raising suspicions that uranium was quietly evacuated before the missiles struck. Western officials now estimate that Iran still possesses about 408 kilograms of high-grade uranium, enough potentially to build at least one nuclear weapon. The existence of that stockpile casts a long and dangerous shadow over the region. It means that, despite the destruction of some facilities, the core of Iran's nuclear capability may have survived. This uncertainty is compounded by Iran's recent decision to suspend cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, the world's nuclear watchdog. Following the airstrikes, Iran expelled IAEA inspectors, cutting off the international community's most reliable source of information about its nuclear activities. Without those eyes on the ground, the world can only guess what is happening behind closed doors and beneath the earth in Iran's labyrinth of secret bunkers and laboratories. Against this background of tension and secrecy, one of the most explosive revelations emerged. In the final moments of his interview, Defense Minister Katz disclosed that Israel had plotted to assassinate Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, at the height of the conflict. The mission, he claimed, was real, and the decision to proceed had been made. Such an operation would have represented a dramatic escalation, a direct strike at the very heart of Iran's leadership. But the plan was never executed. As the crisis reached its peak, Khamenei reportedly disappeared from public view. retreating into a deep underground bunker. The opportunity to strike, Katz said, simply never materialized. The supreme leader survived, shielded by layers of secrecy and security, his whereabouts unknown even to the world's most sophisticated intelligence agencies. When pressed about whether Israel had sought approval from the United States for such a bold move, Katz's response was blunt. Israel, he insisted, does not need anyone's permission to defend itself. The decision to target Khamenei was made independently. The plan was set. Only the lack of opportunity prevented its execution. This revelation has sent shockwaves through the region and beyond. The assassination of a head of state, especially one as influential and symbolic as Iran's supreme leader, would have marked a point of no return. It would have risked unleashing a cascade of retaliation and counter-retaliation, drawing the entire Middle East, and possibly the world, into a wider conflagration. As the dust settles, the broader consequences of these events are only beginning to be understood. Iran's nuclear ambitions remain a source of deep concern, now shrouded in greater secrecy than ever before. The withdrawal of international inspectors means that the world's ability to monitor and verify Iran's activities is severely compromised. The specter of an Iranian bomb still looms, its timeline uncertain, but its possibility undeniable. Meanwhile, Israel's stance has hardened. The government in Jerusalem has demonstrated that it is willing to use force, even at great risk, to prevent Iran from crossing the nuclear threshold. Its alliance with Washington appears strong, but the divergence over how far to go, especially regarding assassination plots, suggests that even close partners have limits. For ordinary people across the Middle East, this new phase of the Israel-Iran conflict is a time of deep anxiety. The threat of war, of missile strikes, and covert operations hangs over daily life, and as long as the fundamental issues remain unresolved, Tehran's nuclear ambitions, Israel's security concerns, and the absence of trust, the region will remain on edge. The world watches, hoping that diplomacy can regain its footing before violence erupts again. But for now, the message from Israel is unmistakable. The war may be over, but the battle over Iran's nuclear future is far from finished. The next moves, shrouded in secrecy and threat, could shape the fate of the region for years to come.